And the great Lonnie Bunch, that's your new title. The great Lonnie Bunch joins us at the table. Bravo, bravo, bravo to you.
Thank you.
I've heard you say that it's like taking a cruise ship while building the cruise ship at the very same time to get this stunning structure built.
I mean, I think the reality was that we had nobody when we started, had a staff of 2, didn't know where the building was going to be, so the notion was we were actually going to make it go and make it up as we go along. So we were
In fact, when you first came, Lonnie, you couldn't even get into your own office. You had to break in. They didn't know who you were.
When I went to where the offices were, the security said, we don't know who you are.
Yeah.
And I went down to different offices, and they said, we don't know where you are. And finally, a maintenance guy drove by, and he had a crowbar in his truck. So we broke in.
What's wonderful about it is to sit here, and there is the Washington Monument. You're right here, elevated next to the Washington Monument, a president who owned slaves, and you're telling right next door the history of slavery and its connection to us today.
Well, I think that the key is being on the National Mall allows us to make those juxtapositions so that this history is now seen as part of everybody's history, not a separate history.
Lonnie, one of the things about Washington, you can go to different museums, you see a lot of quotes on the walls, but they're mostly from former presidents, white members of the administration. You tried to really address that in this museum.
It was really important to me to realize that often black people didn't get a chance to voice their own opinions. So I really thought it was important to give voice to the anonymous, to let people speak for themselves so that we realize that we're not talking about a mass community, we're talking about individuals who lived and died.
But everybody had an idea about what should be in this museum, how it should be represented. You had many voices in your ear. Tell us about that and how you sorted it all out to get to this.
Well, I think there were a lot of debates. Should it be a Holocaust museum? Everything is really horrible and tough. Should it be a story of famous firsts and positive images? What we did was we spent 2 years going around the country talking to people, just finding out what they knew, what they didn't know. And then I brought the best scholars in and said, okay, tell us what you think. And then I told everybody, go away. And we sat down and we said, this is the story we want. We want to find the tension between resiliency and tragedy. One of
the most important things you say you have here is Emmett Till's coffin.
Emmett Till is obviously the person whose life and death re-sparked the civil rights movement. And because in Chicago I got to know his mother, I thought it was really important to make sure that her wishes, that the world would see what they did to her son, would be part of this museum. And that's why we accepted the coffin.
And that's why she kept the coffin open.
I think it was the most important thing was for her to say, my son was crucified on the cross of racial injustice. I want the world to know. And she changed the world.
You know, it's so interesting. When I was coming in, there was a white construction worker outside, and I was asking him about working here. He said, I have to tell you, it's been an honor and a privilege working here. I learned so many things that I didn't know before, and I said, me too. Yeah. That's how we all feel. And isn't that what you want for people? It's black and white. It's not just an African-American history here.
No, this is an education for all Americans. If we do it right, we'll know how all of us have been shaped by this story, and that we've been made better by it, and that we basically realize that one of the great strengths of this museum is all kinds of people help to make it work. It's a good story for what America can be.
Congratulations not only on a 10-year journey, but a lifetime journey.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
I appreciate
Lonnie
it.
Bunch. Thank you for having us here this morning.